Hello, and welcome to Korby's Book Club, where I tell you about books that I've read that I think you might enjoy.
She was a book nerd, she had blonde hair.
First things first, if you're a book nerd like me, punch that subscribe button so you can get the next book report right when it comes out. Second, I'm always looking for new books, so if there's something you love that you'd like me to review, hit me up in the comment section below. Okay. Candide was the name given the satirical novella written by Voltaire in 1759. Voltaire had long been a successful philosopher, historian, champion of freedom of speech, vociferous critic of religion, especially the Catholic Church, and all-around thorn in the side of the self-satisfied French society to which he belonged. During the course of his lifetime, he wrote more than 20,000 letters and 2,000 books and pamphlets. Of all his works, Candide is the most famous and is indeed considered one of the great works of Western literature. So what's it all about? Well, Candide follows the adventures of its namesake on his journey of misfortunes from Europe to the Americas and back. The story opens in the picturesque castle of Baron Thunder Tinfranc. Among the kingdom's happy citizens is the great teacher, Dr. Pangloss, who is constantly instructing his students, Candide among them, in the ways of the philosophy of optimism, that they are living in the best of all possible worlds. Candide, an innocent, impressionable youth, believes the good doctor with his whole heart. The action really gets going when Candide is caught kissing his benefactor's daughter and is expelled from the castle with great kicks in the behind. Thus begins his painful odyssey of awakening and disillusionment as he's robbed, beaten, nearly drowned, swindled repeatedly, and tortured in an auto-da-fe, all while trying to square these dreadful misfortunes with his conviction that this is yet the best of all possible worlds. Behind the wit and wordplay, Candide was Voltaire's very serious repudiation of the optimistic philosophy of Gottfried Leibniz, which was popular among the European intelligentsia during the Enlightenment. Let me explain. Okay, since the beginning, philosophers have addressed the problem of evil in various ways. Until the 20th century, that question was subsumed in a religious framework. If God is good, why then is there evil in the world? In the century preceding Voltaire, philosopher Leibniz had an idea, put briefly, which was that while we could imagine an existence in which there was no evil, God, in his infinite wisdom, allowed evil to be present in the world. The thought is that without the existence of evil, everything would be good, which would mean that goodness would no longer appear good. It would just be normal and expected, or no longer praised. Or as Leibniz puts it, an imperfection in the part may be required for a perfection in the whole. Good job, buddy. So Voltaire sends poor Candide out into the world that he might test the philosophy of optimism against the prick of swords and intrigues of men. One by one, we see the various follies of human beings revealed, as well as their earnest but unsuccessful efforts to make sense of life. The failure is unilateral. Nonetheless, Candide isn't a hopeless tale. After our young hero is at last divested of his naive illusions, he happens upon a Turkish gardener toiling contentedly over a small but productive farm. The farmer knows little about the outside world and its circus of intrigues. Candide and his friends are astonished when he presents them with this plate of delicacies, candied oranges and pastries. They ask the good man if he is as rich as he appears to be. The good Turk replies, "I have only 20 acres. I cultivate them with my children. Work keeps away the three great evils: boredom, vice, and need." Okay, so I read Candide 15 years ago. Until last month, when I reread it, all I really remembered was the Turk's injunction at the end of the book and Voltaire's insistence that all efforts to understand the universe and mankind's fate within it, while well-intentioned, are ultimately stupid. According to Voltaire, people are born, they have their little joys and sorrows, and then they die. Still, you got to do something with your hours under the sun, and the author's advice makes sense to me then as it does now. Cultivate your garden, he says. That garden could be a place in the literal sun where fruits and vegetables thrive, or it could be your family or your relationships or your musical interests or painting or even making a cool channel on YouTube with book reports and piano tutorials and fine original music. Candide is a little book with a simple message. Abstract theories about the nature of existence, while momentarily diverting, are of little tangible value. Don't worry about what you can't control. Instead, focus on the tiny patch of the world you inhabit and make it a little better. It's good advice. As I get older, I seem to be unable to shed my curiosity for new ideas and perspectives. I feel like I know less now than I did when I was young, but one little monster of awareness has grown, which is that the day of my death is actually not so far away. And along with that growing apprehension is a sense deep in my bones that life is really a precious gift. I'm not perfectly sure what to do with the days that remain me, whether I should, as E.B. White puts it, enjoy the world or change it. But I do know I want to make those days count. I have a few things I'm good at. I'd like to get even better. I'd like to cultivate my garden. Okay, that's it for Korby's Book Club. If you like what I do, consider signing up for my Patreon. Links below. Remember, music keeps you young, but reading keeps you sharp. See you next time.
She was a book nerd. She had blonde hair with a paperback in her back pocket.